What's up, everyone? Welcome to Tren-dy TV Tuesday, where we're talking about season 3 of Primal, written and directed, created by the one and only Gendy Tartakovsky, or Gendy, as some people like to say, of course, but, to each their own here. And, again, we've been covering this season. We actually talked about the two previous seasons on one of our friends' channel, and, just for the people out there that, think we might be just, glazing or hating on this season so far, you can actually go, and if you're very curious, I can actually link the streams to those videos in the comment section or the description below, just to prove that we're not a bunch of haters and that we actually have provided, in a very autistic way, a great depth and detail to the first 20 episodes of this series. And while we were looking forward to seeing what happens here in season 3, it just hasn't been up to par. It hasn't been up to snuff, what we really thought would happen. And again, there's a video that's on the internet, on YouTube, that has Gendy talking about, season 1, or sorry, episode 1 of season 3 here, and talks about, and you can see how passionate he is. And if you were wondering what that video looks like, it's called Gendy Tartakovsky's Primal Season 3, Episode 1, Storyboard Walkthrough. And again, I encourage people to maybe go watch this, because, he's doing some great sound effects, like
fire was pushed through,
right?
And then we revealed his face. This is the shaman, seemingly dead.
So he talks about everything through the season, or sorry, episode 1. I'll keep saying season 1. But when you get towards the latter part of the episode, and he starts talking more about the season itself, what he had an idea of, what he initially wanted to do, which Goodwin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was legacy, going on to a different pathing, and just talk about,
he was going to do an anthology,
right? Yeah. Talk about maybe his wife, his kids,
other stories in the world,
right?
Maybe apart from it, because he'd created this world, and then he had another thought.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where it is in time-wise, but go ahead, Vex.
No, it is right at the end, but it's like, this isn't even a new thought for Gendy. Like, he said multiple times in interviews the last 2-3 years that it was going to be an anthology series. So
weird zombie.
Let's see if we can find it exactly. Just
it's
to hear
after he goes through the episode.
It's this.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, how did you decide to bring back Spear? So again, quite interesting. If we want to maybe listen to it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to rewind that? Or
no.
Did everyone hear what he said? Oh, just making sure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
2 seasons are about Spear and Fang, and the 3rd season would be about something totally different for another 1 or 2 seasons.
Now,
that would have been better.
This would have been a far better approach, because it expands the universe. And it branches off away from Spear and Fang. Like, we hear their story, we see their journey. It finally comes to, a nice end. Obviously, it comes at the cost of Spear's life, but he knows that his mama is safe, and that they have kids. His best friend, Fang, has children of her own. So, there's a lot of positivity knowing like he could almost die a happy death, and move on. And again, they just create new stories here. But that would have been far better.
Legacy is secure, because he's going to pass on. Everybody, he's protected. He died protecting the people that he cared about. And then there you go. And we I think in the first episode, when we were covering it, we all kind of conjectured that the studio may have come to Gendy and said, that Spear and Fang thing, why don't you roll that back one more time, even though he already expressed he was interested in doing an anthology about in this world. Sadly, he disabuses us of that notion in this video.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to hear him recant this, and then just again, I feel like
his excuse is the worst.
Yeah, which I think it's right here too. There, I'm really curious to see what those other 10 ideas were. And I get, again, him using these types of dark magic and using zombies in previous seasons. But at what point does that maybe become too played out, or just kind of becomes too much repetition? And again, if the original idea was to move on and have different stories, different characters that we could pursue, care about more, dare I say, people fall in love with these characters, right? Or obviously we know Gendy is very passionate about this, and he should be, because it is a fantastic IP. Again, the first 2 seasons are masterclass in terms of storytelling and silent stories, and obviously the artwork, which he's very well known for, does a fantastic job at pretty much all of his projects. But it's like, I wonder if one of those other 10 ideas might have been a better option, because it's fresh. It is,
well, that's not what he said.
Outside of the box too, though.
But remember what he says was he tried to come up with the stories for the anthology or whatever, and it just wasn't.
Hi, Gooch.
It wasn't working. Hello. Right. He wasn't coming up with anything. So he then goes back and decides, okay, I made a mistake with killing off Spear and ending that story. And so I decide, well, we already had zombies in an earlier thing, and we've got magic and all that. So I'm going to revive him. And that's when he had 10 ideas that he could. Now I have Spear alive, for varying definitions thereof, via zombie magic. Now I have all these ideas, and I'm like, my brother in Christ, this is not. Go back and do the work to come up with a different storyline. You had ended it for a reason, and then you kind of run into writer's block, and they go, all right, well, I'm just going to undo. That is like the most cowardly choice you can make as a writer. When you have something that you finalize, you say, okay, this character's dead. Surprise, not really. Somehow Palpatine and Spear return together, tripping the light fantastic. I mean, that's just bad. Stick to let your writing have consequences.
This sorry, just like listening to this again, I'm gonna go back to I think HBO and Warner Brothers twisted his arm, because what we saw throughout like seasons 1 and 2 is that Gendy understands how to adequately build up and spread the narrative and kind of arc around 2 characters over 2 seasons thoughtfully. And then for him to suddenly just be like, I don't know what to do, or I made a mistake, is like that. My nigga, you've shown us differently. So is someone twisting your arm, or, as Goodwin suggested, is this all just a big troll on the audience because his arm was pulled contractually?
All I can do is take him by his words, and he said he was trying to write things, and it just wasn't working. Right. And so when you recognize, okay, that's not working, then you stop and you go back, and then he starts to regret ending the decisions, the story with Spear and Fang. And so, okay, I'm going to get that back somehow. And luckily I've already done zombies, so I can make that work. And magic has certainly been a part of this world in several episodes. So I can make that work. Okay. But again, you've now stolen the consequences of the story that you wrote in the first 2 seasons. All because you couldn't come up with something.
I think maybe symbolically what he's trying to tell us with episode 3 is he didn't have a hand in this.
I mean, his true love for Primal and realized his mistake killing Spear.
But that's too bad, though. I mean, he made the choice. And then, oh no, I want to undo. It was like, okay, well then I can't take anything that you do seriously, because whenever it doesn't work out and you don't have a story idea, you're just going to revive whatever was working before. I mean, this is we point out so many series that decide to just revive, even though this thing should have been, like it should have been a single movie, or maybe, one in a sequel, and then kill it.
John Wick is a great example. There you go.
Killing
exactly.
Here's the thing. Killing Spear was not a mistake.
It wasn't
like one of the best things about season 2. So when they basically they bring back that Norse guy as this like fiery demon, and I'm just like,
right.
when they did that, like my big question was like, how in the world is Fang going to survive this guy? Now, granted, it was kind of clunky, like the defeat of that thing, but at the very least, like the thing that helped that last episode was, while the defeat itself was a bit clunky, he did die doing it. So I was like, okay, there is a sacrificial aspect that I can buy into that works. So, like, killing him was the best thing about the episode, really. And I was like, okay, that completes the story. It is tragic, but he has a legacy that can move on. That's a really good arc from the beginning of season 1 to the end of season 2. I don't think that's a mistake. I think that's really, really good. So now, granted, you can do bringing him back. It's like, you can do that, but it's like, you have to ask yourself, what am I reviving him in order to accomplish? Like, what is the end goal? What am I bringing him back for? And
what are the costs?
I think thus far, what he's brought him back for isn't especially worthwhile.
Because
I think it's incredibly slow.
You can say, well, I want to achieve this, but you have to also understand there are consequences to making the choice to bring him back, which is that you undermine the sacrifice in the story, that happened at the end of season 2. I mean, it's Spear is going against someone who did choose to come back from the dead, because his vengeance and hate was so strong. It cost him all of his humanity to do so, and Spear, just being his human self or living self, manages to defeat that thing at the cost of his life, but he sacrifices for a reason. Whereas the our Viking essentially destroyed his entire family because of his rage and vengeance. Right? It cost him his son. It cost him his people.
Just to add on to that too, like season 2's ending hits so much harder because his entire journey starts because of this catastrophic loss that he experiences. And throughout season 1, we see him regain kind of part of that family with Fang. And then later on, the missing piece of having a partner, of having a family that is his own flesh and blood, also comes back into fruition. And then he has sacrificed himself in a way that he couldn't do before.
Yeah.
And so he's undone his mistake, and he's almost sought redemption in the way that things culminate in the end of season 2. So to bring him back and to have him not even like for one episode, I think I could excuse this, but 3 episodes just wandering around. There's no purpose. There's no meaning. The only real meaning we're getting is through the fuzzy flashbacks, which seem to just be alternating now between like 3 images of Fang. Like they're not even diversifying anymore. It feels like a punch in the face kind of to how impactful that story was for Spear and Fang in those first 2 seasons.
Yeah, no, and I think you guys nailed it on the head. And I would also agree with you, Gord. I do think that by ending the journey of Spear, and obviously, Fang is still alive, but she's moving on. And at some point, obviously we know she, die of old age, perhaps. But again, her offspring live on, much like, Spear's offspring lives on. The legacies of both main characters live on. Do we need to know exactly what their journey and their life entails? Not necessarily, right? But
I mean, that could have been the next story in the anthology if they
right. It could have been one of,
yeah,
right, exactly. And that's kind of what I was hoping for. Especially after reviewing season 2 and watching it, a couple times, I'm just like, man, like, what's next in the Spear lineage, right? The Spear Fang lineage, because you could still do where the Earth, has changed. There's, different, mammals that are on the planet now, right? Like the ages are changing. And so it's like, are there dinosaurs even left? If so, how many or how few, right? Like you can question those things.
Right. Just think about all the, like even dinosaurs and real animals that exist aside. Look at all of the kind of mythical creatures we encountered in seasons 1 and 2, and then think of
giants.
How many we haven't seen yet, even when it comes to was like groups of people, right? We saw Vikings, We saw that one kind of like pseudo Mesopotamian tribe, right?
Right.
But we've got the Asias to explore. You can go into deep Africas. You can do early, like super early Canadian and American settlers. Like there's still so many options to explore instead of limiting yourself to mimicking things that we've already seen done before.
Yeah,
Right.
and you can also take it to the much like we see the transition from the raw wild where we begin in season 1 to civilizations where people are working together and they have technology and all that. So what do you go to next? The death of magic. Right, that when the world fundamentally changes because magic really stops being a thing, that's an epoch that you can cover, but you're not going to do it with Spear or Fang or even like immediate ancestors from that, right? So you do something else. I mean, I did not want to see his family and all stuff because it just would have been dragged on with member. I mean, when he said anthology, okay, brother, go get it. Right, it's set in this world and you are covering interesting topics about the evolution of humans and interactions, how things matter, the foundational things that come to be, and Gord, I think one of his lesser appreciated episodes is the one where they go to the 1800s and they have the discussion. But that episode exists for a reason, and it's to remind you that when you get too far separated from the primal, then you tend to all of that becomes soft in you. It's why most of the people that get wiped out on that just refuse to accept that what you're dealing with here is that reason is not really going to save you in this. It's at the end of the day, it's just going to have to be all right. Let's just bare our teeth and get to it. And that was always kind of yeah. Well, I mean that's kind of a theme that runs, especially in season 2, and that it's still interesting themes that Gendy could explore or other observations he has about the contrast of modern life versus a life in the wild, whatever. But we get none of that. Instead, this season has really been a metaphor for every franchise that has long lived past its sell by date. That, oh look, it's thing that we recognize, and he's walking. Oh my God, he's back! Yay! Whereas some of us are starting to groan because we don't want to see it. Please don't desecrate his corpse.
Right.
And then everything from this Spear is purely reactive in this. There's no agency that he has. Right. It's either he hears thing and equates it to some memory that's just kind of haunting him, but he has no real understanding of it. And then he sees Grasshopper and the colors remind him of something, but absent that Grasshopper, he just keeps doing the shambling mound thing until he hears another noise.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's no, it isn't Spear. It is Spear. It is zombie wearing the skin suit, the somewhat failing skin suit of Spear now.
Decaying.
Yeah. And so, I mean, this is very much, again, I don't think Gendy is intentionally trying to troll fandoms, but my God, does this season work as an excellent troll.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's just a weird take. And again, I was trying to think of things that he was trying to do here and and again, exploring different ideas. And again, I'm not trying to create my own headcanon to justify things, but I'm just like, okay, so what if by chance Gendy is saying that, Fang has died. And, when you talk about, coming back, right? Like if you believe in reincarnation, that this monstrous T-Rex, my fire alarm's going off for some reason.
Nick's black. Oh no!
I knew it.
Oh shit!
He kept claiming he was Italian, but I knew better.
Hi, Gemma. Hi, Blue Collar. Hi, Cannoli.
Yeah, I mean, when you realize that the triggering thing for this is purely that it is green with the darker stripes on it, and I'm like, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, and as I was saying, like you have this giant monstrous T-Rex, right, that has now passed away, is deceased, and is coming back to this little tiny grasshopper that has like a same or similar color palette, right? Like, I don't know if that's what he's trying to say here, right? Again,
no, it's purely he's triggered by color. Look,
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
that
recognize
is
those
his-
patterns. Here we go.
Right.
And that's confirmed by because one of the flashbacks that he has is specifically of the stripes
Mhm.
on the diet, so we know that it's the color that's triggering this, not anything else. When he captures this and he kind of protects it, I could almost get on board with that. But in the first episode, kind of like with the Raiders and the Lepers, like Spear's instinct just to protect innocence kicked in there. So spreading out half of this episode for him jumping around like a fucking monkey after a grasshopper, especially since he's also traveled through quite a few different landscapes this point. And this is what ends up triggering him to like hop around and protect something. I'm kind of at a loss here, man.
I kind of
This, I'll tell you what this reminds
me
me of. I'll tell you, like, this kind of reminds me of In a Violent Nature in a way, is that it's this slow slog,
the stripes
POV where very little is happening. It's like there's some in-between stuff, which, well, I would say visually this, when you get to the more actiony scenes, this is considerably more neutered than season 1 and 2. I don't think the action sequences in this season so far have been good at all. I was really disappointed by the fight at the end of this one. The aftermath looks really awesome, but that's not like the aftermath like suggests like a 10 out of 10 like wave of brutality,
fight
and
happened,
we got all the weak parts of it, and I was like, huh, that's kind of lame. I would have liked to have seen quite a bit more of that, because so far this season it feels like we've gotten a ton of filler where he's just kind of walking and walking until he stumbles across something to react to. And it's like, okay, how long are we going to do this until we actually start to establish more of a story? Because right now it's just lumber through. There's a lot of filler in these
and
first
then
three episodes.
Yeah, it's wait for stimulus and then get response.
Just to Gooch's last point there, like the memory resurgence, we've already been seeing this for 3 episodes now, and it's not the next one down. After Cannoli makes his racist joke. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Trusted Spears brought back as a weapon of revenge. Once the spell is broken, Spears lost body, not knowing what its purpose is. Memories enter and we get Spears' instincts.
So it's just been the memory resurgence. We're seeing the flashbacks, but they're inconsequential because every time the episode has a moment where those memories can now transpose into some action and like pull some sort of character, either the previous version of Spear or a new version of Spear together, then Gendy decides to do a reset. We saw that twice in the first episode. First, when the spell was broken, and then second, after he killed the Raiders and left the leper colony. Then we saw it twice in episode 2. First with the Dune Worm, then he just walks off, learns nothing, hides in a tree in the desert. Then he encounters the lions, and it's the same thing. You think that he's going to learn something, especially when he has the spear, the memory of the spear and fighting with it, and then nothing happens. And we see that happen yet again here, where all of the time passing is not an issue. It's just that with the time that is passing, nothing is happening. The memories that he's recalling, nothing is happening with them. So it's almost as though we're just kind of going through and then this happens, and then this happens. And there's an end goal that Gendy wants to reach, but he doesn't know how to get there.
Yeah, I either feel like this is going to be one brilliant slow burn of a season,
also,
but
hi, Jana.
also could be a little trolly
Jana
at the
Banana.
same time. And you know, I expected more, and I think after the first episode, I was like, well, this is a weird take, but let's just see what happens. But again, I expected more to have happened by this point. You know, it just seems like, okay, we get the point here. How much of this are you going to keep, putting us through? And again, this has nothing to do with the visuals or the sound design. I think the sound design in this episode was fantastic. It's probably my favorite part of this.
This is for you then, Jenna. Sorry, Nick.
You're fine. My favorite part about this episode, and I do think it is the best of the three, and obviously you can take that for what you will. But there are things that I don't know, maybe I just expected more from Gendy. And again, I understand what he's trying to say with spirit and trying to remember things, but it's like, how long is your body going to last at this point? And granted, I not to be super critical of it, but I do think his body should be even more torn up than it actually is. We've expressed why in previous episodes, but yes, go ahead, Max.
Yeah, like on that point as well, and we've seen this happen again. I have to go back to the Indiana Jones reference because it's one that we can draw a line to. But like the last Indiana Jones movie was just seeing Disney shit on this legacy character for almost 2 hours. And it basically just make you hate the character almost with how much they disassembled him. And I feel like we're doing kind of the same thing here with Spear. We're seeing Spear lose chunks of his body and parts of himself every episode. And there's no lesson learned. There's no personality or memory truly recovered for it. He's just being taken apart by this world, and there's no purpose to it whatsoever. It's just for like a gag almost. Like when he got his skull chopped off in episode 1, it was supposed to be a ha-ha moment. It wasn't serious, right? Then we see him like cartoonishly get stuck in a bunch of thorns in the second episode. That does all this damage to him, but being inside a dune worm with 7 layers of teeth did absolutely nothing. And now we have these little like hobgoblin hobbits that eat his arm off, and there's nothing that comes from that. It's, oh, well, now we just assume that because he's magical, he can move those tendons that aren't even there.
I mean, I'd say too, like he does, if there's anything he learns, it's when like, one of his, his lung or whatever it was that in
like
Oregon.
Spleen,
spleen maybe, fell out, right? Because he has a gaping hole in the right side of his chest or his torso. And he's like, oh shit, I got to put that back inside and stuff it in there. And,
I felt more for this lizard, by the way, than I did the cricket.
Yeah.
I felt sorry for the lizard. I was hey.
I was like, listen.
Just living my life here, dude.
Well, the lizard's got to eat too, right? Like he just robbed the lizard of his food. Like this is the natural like chain of command, right? Like
the good news is Spear is not involved in the circle of life now.
Circle of life, like the lizard's got to eat dragonflies and insects
because that's undead.
Right.
Also, remember. Oh, the spell was broke. How's this motherfucker still walking?
Suspension of disbelief.
Hold on, because this is my theory that I'm working on why he's still able to at least like respond to things and move around despite not being controlled. Is that demon skull or whatever that appeared when the wizard first put the spell on him? That has more power than the wizard thought, and it still is to some extent inhabiting Spear's body. That's
it's not completely severed.
Well, it's much like we talked about the episode 1 would, first of all, the wizard gets knocked off in 5 minutes is a bit crap, but what we would have had is like a 2-stage process where he first reanimates him, but all he is just essentially mindless and has no drive whatsoever, and then does like a possession and direction kind of spell, or instilling the idea of vengeance in him or whatever. Okay, so then you see the vengeance demon leaving, but it's whatever. But that's not what we saw. What we saw is green demon head spell goes into him, and that's when he starts to move. That's when he becomes reanimated. Then it left, and then we just have the shambling man. I mean, how much damage can he take before he stops walking around? Obviously you could cut his head, and expose his brains, have flies eating it, whatever, and that doesn't affect him. So, and he's now walking around with a skeletized hand. Could you just atomize him and then somehow the atoms will just kind of crawl around doing their own thing, or what?
That's a good question.
But he definitely doesn't have any agency.
Yeah, I think in terms of, again, we're not trying to justify how he's still alive. And again, people can.
Well, you kind of have to if you're going to say other things about what his motivation is and what his power level is, what he remembers, what is left of him.
Yeah, I was saying but you have to apply something, and so what is that something? What is the subtle text to the asterisk of this power, this dark magic, right? Because usually in any sort of spell, magic, any sort of role-playing game, Dungeons and Dragons, a lot of nerdy shit I've played, card games, Magic the Gathering, right? When you break a spell, when you counter a spell, that spell is now nullified and is no longer in use, unless you cast it again. But the old man, the old wizard, is dead, and we saw the spell vanish. It left his body. So again, is the answer, well, because he was reincarnated, even though he was reincarnated and he was being controlled by something else, the fact that he's still reincarnated but not controlled anymore is just now left him alive, but with minimal memory and no reflexes until he starts to move again. Because it's we discussed in episode 2, he's been trogging along, boom, 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 as Gendy states in his storyboard walkthrough. But we see him haul ass from Shai Hulud in episode 2. So, again, I get it. It's a fantasy show. I'm not hating on that. But again, when you're just trying to understand how he was dead and decayed, he's not like this. If this was normal Spear, all the actions, all his interactions would be more palpable and no, okay, yeah, we've seen him get into some really hefty battles and bad situations in the first 2 seasons, but this is a different Spear here.
Yeah, this isn't Spear with amnesia.
Right.
A fucking fly landed on his eye and he didn't blink. You can't tell me his instincts are somehow still there, because they're not. That's one of the things that an animal just reflexively will close their eye or something. Anything touches their eyeball. We're funny like that. We don't like to have our very sensitive sensory organs poked in any way, but he just stands there and lets fly crawl on it. So the idea of instinct just isn't there. What animating force does he have? Other than he has vague impressions of, I heard a thing roar. Can't really remember it, other than I saw something that reminded me that it was green with stripes. But we're 3 fucking episodes in.
What's that, Gordon?
I was just saying there's a considerable amount of inconsistency in how he reacts to various stimuli, particularly pain. One minute something will hurt him, and then the next minute it doesn't seem to affect him at all. It's okay, what is it? Just when plot needs it to happen? Because that's the kind of stuff that takes you out of a story. It's any other time when it's not all that dangerous, no big deal. But it's oh, well, we're trying to ramp up the tension, so now he needs to react to this. It's that's pretty lazy. That's pretty lazy.
Yeah, and it's kind of with this, as we briefly mentioned, where he takes a
look at those transitions, Nick. God damn, that's some alien Earth talent there.
Oh,
I know what the bar was set at, so I was well, if I just do it better than this, then I saved myself $80 million an episode. So
need to cross dissolve with
and Vex. Did you understand?
That's important.
Vex, did you know I do this for a hobby? I just didn't know if you knew that. But
oh my god, really? You mean you're getting paid for this?
Oh, right, exactly. God forbid I do something as a hobby online. But FX, hire me for less money and I'll give you a better show.
I will say, so the beginning of this episode, it was nice to see a return to the kind of natural landscapes that
Agreed.
That's
does
true.
really well, right?
Yeah.
You had really good light, you had good shadow, you had depth and depth of camera. A marked difference from episode 2, where it looked like somebody else was in charge of all of it, because Gendy didn't storyboard episode 2, and everything looks flat and Hanna-Barbera style.
Which this one is.
much more the Tartakovsky that we experienced in season 1 and season 2.
In terms of like return to form, because someone had told me this was a return to form, at least animation wise, it felt like a return to form.
I agree to that. Yeah. And like I said, I think based on the storyboarding, the score itself was well done. I like the dynamics of the sound in my ears.
Sound design has been pretty consistent
exactly
through these 3 episodes, that it's done well.
Yeah. And again, visually, there's a lot I liked in this episode, which I think is why it kind of kept me watching it in terms of, I'm like, okay, where is this going? Where's this going? Okay, sure. What is this?
Problem is, I kind of knew where it was going. And
right, exactly. It kind of just felt like I can already suspect what's going to happen here. I did not, we got a bunch of our sneakers on this episode, my precious. But it was kind of weird. Like they're like faceless Smeagol's with fangs, which is
this was very, again, was a very heavy metal style.
Yeah. And listen, I liked the brutality that was involved in this. I liked that sort of violence, but I believe we were robbed. I think you're right, Gord. Like it was at this climax where he gets super pissed, goes in that primal rage, pun intended, and we don't see it. Instead, it just sort of like starts to pan in on his face as he's just doing like the stabby McStabster thing, and I'm like, this dude's lost his damn mind, whatever's left of it. But and it's like boom, cut, and you're like, oh my god, look at this aftermath. Like imagine, I'm sure someone out there's probably going to count all the dead bodies that he's piled up, literally. But I'm like, why? We started to see it, but again, I think we were robbed of it. So I don't know. Like I wanted to see that whole thing play out.
I mean, even the him using the spear when you're just looking at him, right, where you just see him, he's poking things with spear, but it's very sedate in comparison to the number that are coming out, because look, they mobbed him before, and it was just basically just, all right, everybody goes at once. When he gets the spear, it's like standing in line for the DMV where they're just now serving number 35. Okay, now 36.
Yeah.
And I'm with Gord. I mean, it seemed like even the you had the initial brutality of the vengeance attack, and then the wizard gets destroyed, but the level of violence really seems to be toned down in this season.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because it doesn't have stakes so much, and that might be part of it, that it's just lacking the emotional impact.
Blue collar. Sorry, just seeing that now.
What he says, don't know what the fuck Vex's problem is with the last Indiana Jones movie. I love Last Crusade, the last indie movie I ever saw.
Yeah, that's true. If you're gonna have a problem, it really needs to be number 2 that you need to complain about. So.
Right. Good one, Blue. But I agree, and I think this could have been far more brutal. Again, which would have raised the stakes even more.
I mean, it's not even just the brutality of it; it's the action itself, like the way, like kind of the animated choreography of it. It's not very good in that sequence.
It lacks the kinetic feel.
Yeah, it's like he's got all these things coming at him. And it's like, okay, here we go, and it's like for all the flaws in the episode where he's fighting all the apes, the action sequence is still really freaking cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're really, but that's why so many people do love that episode, is because it's like incredible brutality. So it's like, it's pretty superficial, but this episode, heck, these first 3 episodes, they could use some of that right now, because there's been a whole lot of just slow walking from one place to the next. And it was just kind of like, all right, there's a bit of blood, there's a bit of gore, but boy, when you look at that aftermath, it's like, it would have been pretty cool to see him doing stuff like, slamming some of these little creatures into the stalactites and stalagmites and impaling them, and And it's like all that imagery you see, it's like I would have liked to have watched that.
I would have, yeah. Just to like add on to that, it would have been cool if maybe him, because he does kind of kill hundreds of these things throughout the latter half of the episode, and it would have been more appropriate to have some different flashbacks coming there, perhaps when he was deep into battle with the Vikings or whatever. Like all of that violence would have pushed more memories, more growth for him, some return of a character for him, and that would have even like produced some sort of stakes instead of a fucking cricket.
I do have a name for these little creatures. I think they should be called Smallians.
Oh, I see what you did there.
After Jesse Smollett?
Yeah, Jesse Smollett.
No, not after Jesse Smollett. Oh. I think if you look at their head shape, you'll know what I'm looking at.
Small.
Smallians.
Smallians.
No, I agree, Vex. That's a good point. Where you see him have visuals of the roar, looking at Fang, seeing what Fang looks like. But here you are in battle, deep underground, and you have been in many battles before in your life or previous life, I should say. And none of that gets triggered. Like surely, like all those battles would have brought something back here when you're fending for your life. Yeah, we already saw the relation to Fang from the grasshopper. Like we don't need to, the audience, we don't need to keep seeing that. Like we're not stupid. We understand what the grasshopper is representing here, what you're trying to say the grasshopper is representing. But I think better usage of flashbacks would have been a lot better here. I think it would have, again, maybe given a little bit more to Spear.
Well, if what you're trying to portray is that it really is starting to reawaken memories or things like that, then do so. But that doesn't really happen. And also that I could justify the kind of leisurely pace that Spear is dispatching these guys with. Because he's a zombie, except that you've shown me that he can actually be Speed Racer when he needs to. And so that excuse got up and left. And these are the problems, that as you keep stacking this up and you keep showing the variable capabilities and fighting ability and techniques and reactions, that they don't match up this time because you didn't want to do it that way. And it was like, okay, but then why not? Why from the last time did it work? Why did he do this? Right. Versus what's going on now.
Yeah, I agree. It's also, I don't know, part of this made me laugh. And again, I don't know if it's just the story itself or the way it was all just occurring with these little creatures here are so keen on finding this cricket.
I'm going to be honest. I thought that was silly.
That's what I'm saying.
Triggered over the cricket. I thought was to me, this would have been, this is why it's like, you could have extended out the action sequence by just making it where the cricket gets there. One of them is kind of annoyed, looks over and smashes it very offhand. Them getting this riled up over or grasshopper or whatever, it's like, okay, this is really like we're dragging this out when this should be very simple.
I think even just like also noticing that, they've captured this many things and they've never heard something that might not be a meal.
Right. Yeah.
And here's the thing that bugs me about it is, okay, so we understand obviously that, they're trying to make this connection between Fang and this, grasshopper similar to his connection with Fang. Obviously, we understand that as an audience, the world around him should not understand that. And the way this plays out, like so dramatically, with all these near misses and stuff, it feels like the world is far too aware of, of this emotional connection that's been built, when it really should just be callous. That's like part of what makes like the opening episode of this entire series so strong is the callous nature in which like his family's killed and Fang's, children are killed. that's part of what makes it effective. These things just kind of callously squashing the grasshopper and that setting him off would have been considerably better, because that fits the world a lot better, and you could really draw out the brutality a lot better from that point.
Yeah, and when I started seeing all the skeletons, hanged out, I'm like, oh, this actually kind of has a nice little horror vibe to it. And
but where are all the other humans in this area if they've been picking them off?
So that was my other point. I'm like, because their skeletons, their skeletal structure looks a lot different than our boy Spears here. So
he's some fresh kills.
Right. And I'm like, there's still, some looks like some skin decay, right? Muscle tear, flesh
and meat and all that. And so why are they chasing a grasshopper?
Also, like, if actually now you bring up this point, if there's these type of humans around and there were so plenty, why would you waste all this time? Like, we wasted 10 minutes with him chasing around that goddamn cricket at the start of the episode. Why not in the background just put maybe some interesting ruins, or maybe there's, some leftover clothing, a bone sticking out here and there. Maybe enhance the world to show us that there's more than just a zombie in the forest.
Yeah, I think it would have been really neat to explore more of where these skeletons came from. Like, what peoples were they? Again, like, you're getting these time periods, and I'm like, well, they obviously are clothed, right? So they had to be somewhat advanced if they're able to clothe their entire body, or what's left of them. But again, it just there's some lacking detail in this that I feel like Gendy could have expanded upon to expand the world itself, right? Like, it's not just Spear, because through Spear's journey we see a lot, but we see him interact with a lot. There's no interaction here, because you can't interact with the dead unless you're being controlled by it. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I liked the look of it being horror related, but I just wanted to see more of it. Like, just, I don't know, some bodies that were, I don't know, just had something that could have pointed to where they came from.
I think it's going to be obvious that he's going to follow the caves, and you're going to run into something, and it's going to be more explanatory. The bigger problem again is that your motivation for your Smullians don't make a lot of
human
sense.
Head,
because if either they're the greatest bug catchers in the world, in which case I need a couple, let them loose in the garden, or they eat anything, and when there's still meat on the bone, literally, all around the place, and you still have Spear that you can eat. What are we doing jackassing with a grasshopper? I mean, do they run around, just jumping like madmen whenever flies come to lay eggs on all of these corpses?
Yeah.
So, by the way, Gendy's been showing flies quite a bit in these episodes.
He has, actually. I don't know. It's a weird thing again that leads to something else. Even
makes you wonder why they don't react to flies very often.
Right. Again, if a fly showed up, and do they just have a riot in here where everybody's going nuts trying to get it?
Hi, Rio. Thank you.
God forbid a fruit fly comes up. They're never going to kill that thing.
I'm just like, is this the first time I've experienced a bug?
Grasshopper, you cannot catch me.
Well, again, it's living thing, it's moving, it's making noise, let's get it. But again, you've already got meat here. What are we doing?
Hope you're well, my friend.
I was kind of hoping that when they started reacting to this grasshopper or whatever, that it would be kind of it would be another moment that triggered an actual memory that stuck for Spear, because he's just been mindless like these little things so far, but there's an instinct to at least eat to survive for them, right? That instinct doesn't reside in him whatsoever. So I was hoping that, maybe there would be a memory of him,
Yeah, like when other people have tried to lasso and tie down Fang or something like that, and it triggers that. But
and then that would kind of drive him to want to survive, and also it would be a piece of his memory that kind of comes together, and that would also explain why suddenly he understands the purpose of clothing, because there's no other reason why he would suddenly recall, of all things, the purpose and function of clothing in this instance.
Well, like if they had showed them I say grab the grasshopper and eat it, and it reminded him of like the memory of like, you know, his children getting eaten. Basically, it's like, okay, you could do something with that.
Yeah, you have to flash back to something. If you're telling me that his memories are getting triggered by this, but it's the same flashback time and again.
Mm-hmm.
There's no growth.
His faces are hilarious.
No, Gord is taking notes. He's reusing all of these.
Yeah.
I've already incorporated some.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even going to mention season 3 in the Primal video that I've been working on, but I'm going to have to just to use some of these faces.
You know, it's funny is some of the faces that remind me of the BC episode of SpongeBob. So if you use, I would encourage you to go back and watch that episode and do some comparisons and maybe pull some sound bites from it. Because
wait, which episode is it called again?
It's I think it's just called SpongeBob BC.
The caveman episode.
Yeah,
okay.
I wouldn't. There are some faces that a Spear makes that kind of remind me of like the scene where like SpongeBob is realizing what fire and food do when combined. And then they show the little barbershop quartet doing the little, oh, it's like you can incorporate that.
2001.
Also, this one little Smallian right here with his butt cheeks spread apart. It's like, I'm glad they don't detail the beeholes too much.
You know what he's about.
This is what happens when they're short on bananas and rice.
You know what? The Smallians reference doubly makes sense because you know they're fucking their brothers and sisters to reproduce like this.
Wait, Vex, did you just assume the genders of these little creatures?
I mean, listen, we know that those people participate in incest, and given the state of these ones, there's some incest going on.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything like this since the Habsburgs ran half the world. But I did like that Spear reveals the pimp hand that he's about to use on these people.
Yeah, here's my strong hand.
Yeah, my pimp hand.
My pimp hand. But you know, let me bite your trap real quick and not leave a mark. Hold on.
Another instance where kind of like the mechanics don't make sense. So it's like this hand, the function side apart, right? So if we're just looking at finger bones hanging,
that thing was digging its teeth into his brain there, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
So these finger
it's all right.
bones
He's not using it.
have the power to like slash and cut through things, but his brain was like his skull was able to get capped completely in the first episode.
Yeah. And again, this is just one of these stylistic choices that, or story choices where I'm like, I don't know if I would have had him biting on the part of your skull that has the exposed part of your brain. So, because obviously that would dig right into it. And again, just thinking about brain damage, right?
It contradicts the spleen falling out later too.
Yeah. So like, there's these stylistic choices.
He should have wrapped a turban for himself.
I thought he was going to do that. I'm not even going to lie. I was like, I was going to become a towel head, but didn't get that either. Like,
I love the casual slur drop.
Yeah, but like Nick, he didn't need a towel. He's now bald up top. We know this, so it's fine.
But like, I don't understand. Like, we could see them. Like, we could see that we already saw like the riders with the scimitars, right? We could see them again. They're like, oh shit, we remember you when you were saving those the lepers, right? We're coming back. You killed a bunch of our. Remember, there were like 2 of them that still ran away. So like, you know, it's not like dead man tell no tales. These are people who are alive that probably went back and like, hey, this like zombie looking creature here killed a bunch of our men and our horses. We need to keep an eye out for him and run him down next time we see him. And then they could probably mistake him because like, oh, look, he's wearing something just like us. And like, haha, psych, it's me, Spear. And then just start doing
not
stabby stab.
Seek.
Yeah, Seek. Yeah. Also, those 2 come back and go, okay, so this guy with his brain hanging out just ripped through everybody, looked like he was a zombie or whatever. They're getting lashes and because it's very clear that you've been drinking and that's haram.
Right. And again, like I liked, you know, and I was in, this is the part where I'm like, oh man, this is where it's getting all crazy. Except this guy, this one little creature, has some intelligence, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna grab a bone here and just smash it. Which again, Igor, like if this would have happened from the get go, you would have saved time to have a drawn out and brutal fight. But we skipped that because again, just a story and artistic choice here. But just would have rather preferred it die from the get go and then have him go ape shit and just crush all of them. But make it, I think if like you're trying to make us feel sorry or feel like his rage, you have to prolong it. It's kind of like in episode 4 of season 2
that he's possible.
Yeah,
right? Because again, you had him reset to factory defaults after each episode, and he gets an impression, goes into whatever reaction you need him to have for prior episodes, and then this one is it's lost. Well, he doesn't have a flashback about when he thought that he lost Fang, because there's been plenty of times where Fang has been injured and he's worried about her and things like that. None of that comes back. It's look, I'm gonna throw a member berry and then I'll let you fill in the blanks, but you're not really letting me do that because you've already had opinions about what he is and is not capable of in prior episodes. And it's not like he's on an escalating path of getting more competent or getting more driven by memory or something like that. This is all still impulse. And so there's nothing to fill in. This is a coloring book and they forgot to put the lines on the paper.
Mm. Also, did you guys like the Zack Snyder slow-mo here?
Oh yeah.
I like Soul Assassin's comment there, hide and seek. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I like how he just tries to like pick up this little arm, and I thought I was gonna snap it off, but it just falls.
This also should have been a moment that if it didn't trigger a memory, it cemented a memory. Seeing something that he's been like we saw him start to care about this thing over the course of the episode. This should have been a moment where flash happens. Oh my God, I remember this happening.
Yep.
Right, like how does a smash bug remind him of a
the
roar?
memory to be clarified in that moment, and then like when he dresses himself and everything, he's like if you ended it with him being considerably more himself in more than just appearance, it's like okay, that gives me a little bit of something to be interested in moving forward, but it's very minimal.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I gotta give for the little guy here who thought he won, and then he obviously got smashed to death here. But yeah,
again, off screen, it's like you couldn't show me that.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, we're gonna see a ton of this right now, especially when he gets that look.
Splatter, and then you'll see aftermath of just smoosh, and that's it. But you won't actually see the impact. Right.
Yeah. I was. This is the part I was like, okay, this might be dope. And again, you kind of start seeing bits and pieces where he's just going full Skeletor and again, where I think I even called it last week when he's like, I'm gonna leave the spear here. I was like, I guaranteed he finds another spear next week. Why he just didn't keep the one he found is beyond me, right? Like,
because he heard roar and had to go back to purely, and again, he had to factory reset.
Yeah, like to be clear, like the scene starts good. Like all this stuff, I was like, okay, here we go. And but when he goes into like the mindless stabbing and stuff, I was like, oh, okay, that's where we're ending it, really. Okay. And then you see the aftermath. It's like, okay, he clearly didn't, just do that the rest of. I did some really cool stuff afterwards. I would have loved to have seen that.
I know it's like you can't expect him to just I'll pause it when he starts doing the stabby McStabster thing, but like you think he just stood there because again, like he starts to get overwhelmed and they're all jumping on him and getting closer, so it's not like he can create a distance like you would with a spear. So do you think he just stood there and just went like stab? That's
what they show.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's not believable.
That's what I said. It's like, when they suddenly they were mobbing him. Now suddenly they're at the DMV. They've got their number now, serving number 37. Okay, Here I am. Stab. Okay, next.
Your turn to get stabbed. Now it's your turn to get stabbed.
You get a stab,
Yeah.
and you get a stab.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of get what they're trying to go for. Like, they're like, oh, see, he's just mindlessly killing. And I'm like, yeah, and it looks really stupid. It's like, you couldn't do this in a way that's better. It's like, I don't even think you need it, you know, a visual metaphor in the midst of your action sequence to give off the impression that he's mindlessly killing. Like,
yeah, or show that he's starting to remember technique with the spear.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
By showing different attacks and all that. But instead you just see viewpoint of him going stab, 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 stab.
So anyway, I started stabbing.
Yeah, then I stabbed.
I stabbed some more.
Yeah.
This scene here almost looks like they're raising like, ooh, pick me next. I want to get stabbed.
Yeah, no, I'm number 37. Let me go to the head. No, wait your turn. Everybody will get stabbed. It's fine. We've got plenty of time.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. But like, yeah, the fact that he just kind of stands there like this and
and he's just like, they just choose to like flashback again, another opportunity for memories to maybe come back during this instead of just zooming in on him doing the same face and the same stab on the skull motion.
Yeah, you're showing so the action itself is showing nothing of him recovering memories or gaining, regaining skills or even exercising instinctual moves that he used to do. So you look at him and go, okay, he's starting to regain some of his self and who he was, whatever. Instead, you just have stab, stab, stab. So the only other way you can convey it is with flashback. They chose neither.
Yeah. And again, like this is where I thought things were gonna pick up. Like he's going into this mindless rage here.
Nope.
And I thought it was just gonna be like a full bore brutality, but we just get the after effects. It's like, dude, no, what like how many of these little things died here? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like
wait till he makes Mount Smolia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you got like hundreds at least, and I mean, guy probably committed some sort of cave genocide here.
Yeah, this place should be painted red.
Yeah.
Also, the layout for some of these bodies just doesn't make fucking sense when we saw him just standing there, picking at them like it was a smorgasbord.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because he's
like they allude. It's like this visual alludes to something far cooler than we got to watch.
Yeah, what we got was him using a pickle fork and trying to find the best gherkin at the buffet.
Right, just picking at the pigs in a blanket at a party.
Yeah, there we go. No, it's fine. I brought my own toothpick.
1 second. Yeah, I want to say where he is standing at the end. It does show that he had to have moved at some point, right? Like he wasn't just standing in that one spot.
Yeah, he did it off screen as well.
Right, like because the pile would be right here as he's just standing here, but he's not. Now he's kneeling in the opposite, so he's moved.
Yeah, he's gone over to find his grasshopper friend.
Right.
No, but again, this is a thing that was in season 1 and season 2. Gendy was so good about, you knew where you were on a battlefield. You could track movement, just like even if I didn't see like the large view.
Look at this guy up here.
Yeah, homeboy, he's stuck in a stalactite. Shit happens.
Why wanted to see that? Come on,
you see it now. There he is.
Yeah.
Have a nice day. Actually, he did that to himself. He got bored of waiting in line.
Jumped up. Yeah.
He's like, fuck this. But that Gendy is, again, he's a master at visual storytelling, and I think the struggle here is he ain't got no story to tell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm most phonetically backwards is Lemurp. That's why I think season 3 should be called.
Yeah.
We'll just call it Lemurp until it's like we're reviewing Lemurp.
Or what you watching it tonight? Oh, Lemurp.
I got a little Lemurp on, and
watching a little Lemurp.
Or like this would have been that would have been a good memory.
I think if his lung fell out and buried the cricket instead of the rock, it would have been hilarious.
No, but I almost think like maybe burying the little grasshopper could have also triggered a memory, right? Like there's other opportunities, like we mentioned
Well,
earlier, that could have happened.
Where's this memory of burial come from?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. I was like, you understand the point of burial? Okay.
Again, it's I remember very high concepts in one moment, and then the next moment I can't even fucking blink my eyes at the same time.
What's up, Jake?
And now we get three.
Right,
and now we get 3 actually we get 4, right? Because first of all, he picks up the spear and understands immediately how to use it. Then there's noticing that an organ falls out, recognizing that's important and using the clothes to keep it back in. Then there's the burial. Then there's him realizing that he can pile up all the bodies and use that as a ladder.
Yeah, my man's engineering now, but he can't remember anything and all that and the build this factory reset.
And
I do like that you refer to the body pile as a high concept.
I mean, it had to be high. He had to get out somehow.
He's got to still walk like a fucking retard at the end of all of this too. Like, what are we doing here? There's no continuity whatsoever. At least if he's dumb, just keep him dumb. If he's vacant, just keep him vacant. But if you're giving him like actual skills and traits and you're not doing the diligence of showing us how he acquired those and just wasting our fucking time, for the love of God, Minecrafters. I'm angry now. Sorry. I'm
Lemur.
I'm glad that Bex has taken over my angry duties right now.
I'm really pissed off because, like, genuinely, like, Primal season 1 and 2, like, that's probably some of the best TV that will ever exist. And to see it just turn into literal slop, like, this is just filler slop, nothing of importance or significant. Sorry, Kylo. Sorry. Okay.
Cat's pissed too.
Right.
Cat's not having it either.
When I'm upset, that's why. But like, because this episode is like a return to form for the animation, at least, and that had me like really hopeful that maybe the story will finally take a significant turn, because we only get like 10 episodes in a season. We're a third of the way through the season. Yes, and nothing happened.
Lemurp.
Yes, Kylo.
It's like the
he built a giant Smolian penis.
Or
and he climbed it.
Smolian temple, like bone temple.
Yeah, it's like the bone temple. Yeah, it's amazing that thing was that stable.
that may actually be one of the dongs from the.
This would be difficult.
Zombies.
This would be difficult for a civilized man to build.
Yeah, again, these are we have engineering. But again, what's the I'm going to bury my grasshopper friend. What triggered that? You haven't shown anything that demonstrates that you would understand that, or in any way prior to that. You've all been stimulus and response, and you get, I hear roar, and I just assume that it's a thing in my imagination. I'm gonna go that way, shambling mound. But now we suddenly give all high concept shit, and then we're gonna get out and then go back to being shambling mound who stares, gape mouth at additional grasshoppers.
Right.
Thank God we won't have to look at Spear's old man ass anymore, though. It's
exactly
right.
Yeah, but now we're gonna have to worry about grasshoppers coming back into the picture later as symbolism or some shit like that.
Yeah, and because even at this part, he's like, "Oh my God, it's still alive," and he's realizing, "Oh wait, there's a bunch." So maybe I didn't need to get that pissed off after all. Like, you got big mad for nothing.
I think the show knows what they're going for at the end of this.
Yeah. I think there's some sort of like symbolism or metaphor they're trying to go out with that, but I'm not understanding what it is whatsoever.
Wayland's nailed it. Yeah, my themes and symbolisms.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not as, and I'd say like the themes and the symbolisms, like which I always liked talking about on Gucci's streams for season 1 and season 2, especially. Like I loved analyzing the themes that he was going for. Because it mattered. Yeah. Exactly. They mattered and they were present. And
also it was multi-leveled storytelling. Things were happening. So you could look at it again, if you were if you were a typical moron watching it, it's like there's cool action and things happen, and I thought, but he stabbed, and you don't mess with Fang, he'll mess you up because Spear don't let people mess with Fang and all that, right? And you could accept the story at that level, but then there were about 3 other levels that you could look at, because I think Gendy had a clear idea of the story he's trying to tell. This thing at a surface level is, oh, Spear is back, and he walk. And then he does thing, and then it doesn't. Why? Because it's Spear, and that's what he does. I mean, this is absolutely retarded at a surface level story. And then the themes are just missing, other than choose your own adventure, invent your own. I think he has a very weak story, and he's using. I swear to God, this is the best fucking troll for people who love to see shit just continue long past its sell by date with look, it's back, and oh, it's green with stripes. I remember green with stripes. That's like Fang, but it's a fucking bug.
A grasshopper, man. Of all the things to make you remember Fang, it's a grasshopper.
Yeah, what happened to the roars? Are we just gonna forget about them again? Third episode, we've been hearing these roars, and
they went away because we had a new stimulus.
Right, we replaced it with lion roars the previous episode. Now we replaced it with grasshopper.
The roars are the fidget spinners of this universe.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wait, guys. What is
Oh, let me get my bone ready.
Oh shit! Hold
on. Let me blink one eye at a time as I think about that.
Upgrade to their 5G plan.
Yeah, just
Lemerp,
episode 3, and again, like even just the title, I'm like, Feast of Flesh. It just sounds like some badass shit should happen, and again, we kind of got robbed from it. So
we saw flesh being eaten for all of maybe 20 seconds on screen.
Yeah,
it was more of like a sample of flesh.
Yeah, a nibble of flesh.
Like I said, the soup minigame in Star Wars Outlaws was more compelling, and there was certainly more feasting involved.
It was a light amount of flesh, a flesh light.
Yeah, a flesh light. Yes.
Just real quick, I gotta go. I can't stick around for the Twitter segment today.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you need to dip out, my dear, before we get into the Twitter segment. So what would you rate this episode, Vex?
So I think I gave last episode a 2 and the first episode a 4. So I'm gonna give this episode I'll give it a 4.5 crickets out of 10. It gets a bump because the animation is really strong, and I do appreciate the color work, and it's a layered environment and setting rather than just that flatness that we've kind of been witnessing since the season started. So I will give it most of its points for that, but otherwise it's like, yeah, where was the gore? Where was the action? Where was the actual progress and continuity for things? Just what are we doing here? And again, of all things that are going to remind you of Fang, this fearsome fucking T-Rex with one fucking tooth in her jaw that watched her children get eaten alive and fought a fucking shark in the ocean and shit like that. What triggers your memory is a fucking grasshopper?
But it was green with stripes on it. It had green and stripes.
But the colors, Vex, the colors.
By that logic, then, like, literally leaves should have been reminded.
That's what I said. I mean, God, he didn't see a plant at some point going through. This thing reminds me of Al Pacino in Heat. Stop wasting my motherfucking time.
I'm just... I'm really disappointed. I sent the teaser for next week's episode in the Discord earlier this week.
Yes.
The link is still there, but the teaser for next week doesn't incite any hope because it's one thing or the other, right? It's the one thing of, oh, so they're all still alive, which means there's really nothing for Spear. Like now it's just going to be them trying to get him to remember himself, or it's going to be it's going to be a flashback to what happened to them, and it's just going to be kind of filler so that we have no hope for Spear.
I don't have any hope anyway.
I know, but there could have been some hope. But I'm just, yeah. Yes, Cliwo. Oh, see, he wants to snuggle. This is snuggly, sleepy time.
He's like, stop watching Lemurp.
Lemurp, yeah. All right, but thank you for having me, chat.
Thanks
you guys
for,
were
thanks
awesome.
for joining, Bex.
My pleasure. I'll fucking hell. I'll see you next week, I guess, for more Lemurp.
Yep. Episode 4.
Fucking hell.
Oh, show.
Yeah, so maybe let's watch the episode 4 teaser first before we get into some tweets here, just to kind of see what this is looking like for us. And I just want to say too, look, if you are enjoying the show for what it is, good for you. You know, again, whenever we talk about movies, shows, you can like something for whatever reason, but at the same time, understand that there's, you know, a difference between objectivity and subjectivity. And all we're trying to do is just be objective about this. So don't get mad at us for just applying some constructive criticism for Mr. Tartakovsky here. So, you know,
yeah, we're having a conversation about good and bad, not whether or not enjoyment.
Yeah, it's again now. Don't tell me that I like this and it's as good as season 1 and season 2. I'll kick you in your balls.
Yeah, that's a
if
straight
you
up
had
lie.
any. But the you know, there are things about, again, like Specs pointed out with this episode, the animation goes up. I don't think it's quite the return to season 1 and season 2.
Gojo.
But I think that it's certainly you can see relation as opposed to episode 1 and especially episode 2, which looked like outtakes from a Hanna-Barbera Lap Olympics episode, animation wise. And I think, you know, the sound design has been consistently good. If you're not looking at this, maybe it's a lot better for you. I don't know. But this is a waste of fucking time. And I think Gendy gave it away, where he was like, you know what, I tried to do something else. I had an idea that I was going to go do an anthology because it was a cool world and there were interesting things to explore. And I think he ran into a writer's block and said, oh, well, all right, I'm just going to go back and revive Spear because I can't come up with anything else. And I don't think anybody was sitting on him going, no, bro, you got to eat those consequences. You ended the story, and it should have, and it was well earned. It was a good death. What the fuck are you doing reviving him?
Mm-hmm.
I put it this way, like when Nick told me we were covering this season, I had not watched a single episode of this. You know, there's 20, and I had like 10 days to watch it all. That was easy. That was an easy mini binge. Like, I wouldn't even call that a binge. I mean, you only have to watch like technically like 2 episodes per. But here's the thing: I didn't start for like 3 days after that, so I crammed them all into like 6-7 days or something. That was easy. That was fun. It's like going through like multiple episodes all at once of seasons 1 and 2 was fine because those episodes are awesome. So far, I mean, these are the same length of episodes, but knowing I have to watch it it feels more like an obligation. Like, you feel the runtime. You feel it.
When this is my wife and I have been watching these episodes together, and she turned to me halfway through this episode and said, you know, throughout season 1 and season 2, I never once had the thought in my head of, is this episode over? Can it be over? Are we done? And we were halfway through this episode. And I looked and I was like, oh yeah, I'm in the same place. Nothing is happening. Right. And my wife, who is the most normie of normies, could detect the noticeable change in quality.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Truly. Let's see what this teaser's got for us, eh? I guess I'm not gonna put the sound just in case, but
Pray for the Wicked.
Yeah, so the title is called Pray for the Wicked. All right, yeah. I'm not even gonna think about the title. Let's just see what happens here. Okay, so weird furry creature.
Not sure quite what that
wolf?
is.
Yeah, it almost looks like
giant wolf.
Or like
maybe
almost like it might look like a giant warthog, kind of. Not really, but
it's like a dire wolf or something.
Yeah, maybe.
It's canine.
Yeah. Okay, but look at it.
It's just the animation so far. The body, it's like it almost like you don't feel like you're seeing the full extent of it. Although you might be on something.
Hooves,
look,
though.
The feet are hooves.
I don't think those are. I think you're seeing both legs.
No, that's definitely the right leg, or like what it's because it's kind of bent.
Oh God, it is.
And then the left leg is like
maybe rabid deer
over.
These are Avatar: The Last Airbender animals.
Oh.
It's a hog wolf.
Yeah.
You've heard of man bear pig. Now you get hog wolf. Yeah, because like even it's weird though too. Like I've even seen like some like
direwolf pig does whatever a direwolf pig does.
Yeah, look at it. It's got like this very pointy snout.
Yeah, it's like a weird hybrid of a wolf and a pig.
Yeah, like this giant tooth here, but
and that thing is like relative to the size of the people, it's like that thing is massive.
Yeah,
these things should be dominating.
Yeah, those bears back in the Viking village are like, nah, bro, I don't want any of that smoke. I'm fine.
Yeah, and this obviously definitely looks like Mira's people, right? Based on the animation, the drawing,
the eyes,
the eyes. Like Mira.
Yeah.
Well, it's got hair, so
Okay, so there's a bunch of them. Yeah, bro. These people don't stand a chance.
What is this animal? What is this supposed to be?
Oh,
that's Fang and
her children.
Fang and chillins.
Okay.
I was like, that was Mira. That was Mira.
Yeah. Was it that? Was that actually Mira then? I guess it had to be,
that was
right?
Mira.
She bought a wig.
Well, she had hair at the end of season 2.
Yeah.
But it looked more like an afro.
Yeah. Right. So she just,
So she got a weave.
She weaved her hair, right? She done did her hair. Okay, so again, like, why couldn't we have had this from the start of season 3? Just asking.
Well, we have to rebuy a spear because we have to have spear.
If this was the actual start to season 3 here, we would have been off to a much better start.
I mean, I would have been a little because I was like, look, you said you're doing an anthology. Move on from Spear and his family or whatever. Maybe have them like be in a guest appearance in one thing where something encounters them or whatever. But
okay,
wait. Now this motherfucker looks like a wolf.
Hang on.
But it's man bear pig.
They're cheating with the size now.
Yeah, but they did that. They did that.
Season
1 and season 2.
Yeah. I was waiting for that to happen.
Like they're really cheating with this one though. Like this. This is egregiously cheating with the size though, because that thing made the people in his mouth look teeny tiny, and it's like, wow, we know Fang and Spear, there wasn't nearly that proportionate size difference. There wasn't anything close to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe the bears from the Viking villages had a similar kind of scale up, scale down, depending on what they were fighting, kind of thing.
Like honestly, when I saw like the children and Fang running towards them, I said, oh, okay, this actually could be a really tough fight, given the size of those things. Now we're looking at it's like, oh, they just slow down. No big deal.
Never mind.
Yeah, Mira. This episode
Mira is also shocked to be in this show. She's like, I thought my story was done. What the hell?
Oh, you guys are still here? Yes, Mira, we're still here.
What? Go home.
Yeah. The show's over, guys.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it'll be interesting.
Will it?
I mean, it could be far more interesting than the previous 3 episodes.
It could be.
I'm just you see this.
Coulds doing a lot of heavy lifting at that.
Could
statement, yeah.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I guess it's interesting to show them at this part of the season, and then like I hope this isn't like just the context of it, and then it cuts and it goes back to Zombie Spear wandering. Like,
I mean, I'll say I do.
Is it gonna be a full flashback episode or what?
Yeah, that's the question. Is this a flashback or is this current?
Right.
Like, is this the inciting incident that ultimately led to like the village getting massacred or something? It's like,
the village is on fire.
Probably is, but we'll know when we see it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, just remember the it starts, the whole village is on fire, right? The old man wakes up, everything's burning. I mean, unless wolf pigs know how to start fires,
were they set? Were they just there? Or were they set?
Yeah, are these like attack dogs or war dogs for
right?
somebody
Yeah,
else? And
maybe, right? Send out your warg riders.
Cry havoc and let slip the pigs of war.
Yep. I guess. I mean, look, I like dino violence, but I'm gonna reserve my thoughts for next week's episode.
Yeah, can I interest you in a Jurassic World movie if you just like dino violence?
That's dino stupidity.
Those are the Indominus pigs.
Yeah.
Spirit finds a whistle somehow through a shell, starts commanding the dinosaurs.
Spirit just throws up a hand, and they're like, "Oh wait, what? Oh, my bad."
Lemur pigs.
Mm-hmm.
So Vex gave this a 4.5 out of 10, and somehow IGN has given this episode a 10 out of 10. IGN gonna IGN. 1/2 meditative character study, 1/2 bloody actioneer. The episode does much to expand Zombie Spear's journey.
First, I think this guy has a strange concept of halves.
Yes.
It's like his idea of half is like a 90-10 split, apparently. But it's like, does much to expand. Okay, extrapolate that on that, please. What do you mean by that? Yep. How so?
Yeah, a meditative character study. What? It's almost sounds like
these are words they heard in film school.
Probably.
They watched a Chris Stuckman review and heard him say meditative character study, and they're like, "Ooh, I'm going to use that."
Well, it must have been an early Chris Stuckman video.
Exactly, Kojo. I've been saying that for a while now. Can't spell ignorance without IGN.
Mm-hmm.
Surprised they didn't give us a 7GN.
Oh no, this is far too peak for that. It's shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at this motherfucker's bio.
Yeah, I was just reading that. Hello, my name's Joseph Jeriquai.
Yeah, it's like Jamiroquai, but they forgot the M.
Yeah. I'm ready to save the world. I'm a big fan of Disney, Marvel, Dragon Ball, My Hero Academia, Invincible.
Just
Raya,
put current thing hashtags. That's all you should.
I'm a big fan of anime. Thanks.
If our friend Words of Paradise, Leon, were here, he would say, this person sounds like an anime tourist. But, hey.
I mean, I can kind of start checking off the lists of I have no taste. I just like Thing.
Right.
Disney, sure. Marvel, sure. Dragon Ball.
The original Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z?
I don't care. You're gay. All of you are gay that like Dragon Ball. And this is, I like Thing. Fuck off. Waylon, absolutely correct. I'm a big horror fan.
Yeah, but have you seen film?
I eat slop.
Have you seen film though, Waylon?
Does film have Thing I recognize in it? Then I have seen.
Mm-hmm.
I like film.
I like film. Film with Thing.
Gendy Tartakovsky's Primal is peak visual storytelling.
I just want to point out that the actual username is Bad Film Takes.
Mm-hmm.
Even like these are interesting stills
I
to
have a YouTube channel that looks at the relationship between cinema and video games below.
Nope.
Okay,
check another one off the box.
So what video game do you like in Primal to? Do tell.
Yeah, what do you relate now if
it's a walking simulator.
Yeah, this season 3 of Primal, I would link to Death Stranding, absolutely.
Primal Death Stranding season.
It's more like that new one where you actually have to guide the walking. Mahler and Az have both played it.
Yeah, like the baby step.
Right.
Yeah. Oh god, what was that one video game? I would say for seasons 1 and season 2, you could say the relationship between this type of cinema to video game and a video game in particular, I would say you would say Primal Rage, the dinosaur and they had like 2 apes I think in there as well. Fighting game, from the arcades, from
Primal
the 90s.
Rage was a fun game.
It really was.
I don't liken that to this.
Yeah, not season 3 here at all. Season 3 is definitely Death Stranding. But first 2 seasons, Primal Rage, 100%. So
yeah, with some depth of story that you could really look at and figure out. So like, take Primal Rage and mix it with Soma, and let's call it a day.
There we go.
I need to play that game still.
Yes, you do.
I might play that after I'm done with Hollow Knight. I've been playing Hollow Knight recently. Hollow Knight's pretty cool.
I mean, Soma's I think it's only like maybe 8-10 hours.
Yeah, it's relatively short.
Yeah.
Cool guy, J1984. Okay. 80s guy here. Might have a good take from the 80s. Let's see. Just watch season 3, episode 3 of Primal. Oh, not gonna lie. With every episode, I'm disliking this season 3 more and more.
I mean, he's earned his handle.
Yeah.
I'd rather have it short and sweet than long and dragged out. It's like, I have bad news.
It kind of seems like what we're getting here with season 3, cool guy Jay.
I like the response. It says, I almost want to watch it to see how bad it is, though when it comes to that, it depends on how long I can keep my hand on the stove.
Injure dipped Lotia as well. The pretty base take as well. So I know, and I want to say this for people watching, if you've made it to this point as well. Again, understand where we're coming from and just listen to what the words we're saying, right? Like, we're not dumping on it for dump's sake. We're not hating it outright. We are providing tons of examples here. We're not just blindly, gaslighting anyone or anything of the sorts. We're applying an actual critiques that we would to anything else. If you watch anything else on my channel, Pump Pumpkins channel, like, we talk about a lot of things. And I just want to say that from this post as an example, at least there are other people out there who understand it. And I'm not saying, finally someone gets it, but
I guarantee that cool guy Jay liked season 1 and season 2.
100%. I definitely think that too. And then when you get to season 3,
because this, I think what he's expressing here is disappointment. And that's born off of probably loving the first 2 seasons like any sane person does.
Yeah.
Right. And again, I think there are people out there who are just like, think that this season has done no wrong or there's nothing wrong with it, period. And it's like, are we watching the same show here?
Well, I think your instinct is to give Gendy a lot of grace, because he's demonstrated time and time again that he knows how to tell a good story. That the animation is good. That he's very much a visual storyteller. But we originally were thinking, okay, maybe the studio weighed in or whatever. The problem is they then had an interview with him. And as we showed at the beginning, I mean, he basically went, I tried, nothing was working. And so, I couldn't come up with anything. So I just decided to revive Spear, at which point somebody should have slapped him very hard.
Don't do it.
No, sit your ass back down and put something together. This is,
I
mean, I can't say this is, comparable to Arcane season 1 to season 2, but there was a lot of people glazing season 2 and talking about how great it was. Oh no, it's the same thing or whatever. And I just looked and I was like, I'm going to guess that you don't have a lot of functioning brain cells, or it's because it's IP I know and like. And so I like more of Thing, right? It's anybody who's looked at Marvel since Endgame, and I would throw Endgame in there, but it was at least not to the drop of everything that happened afterwards. Anybody goes, oh, I like those movies. It had the thing I like or whatever. Shut up.
Well, and again, we discussed that on Gucci's channel as well, and I had expressed to Gucci, like, I was I played League of Legends when it first came out for a number of years. Yeah, like I was deep into that lore. I played the game a ton, and seeing the way it turned out, seeing the way they retconned the lore, they changed some of my favorite characters in the game. Like Warwick, to be specific, just it ruined the entire show for me. And I'm like, they can't be doing this. Like, they're ruining Jace. Like, there's so many wrong story choices to make, and it's like, dude, like, they're doing the same thing here, I think.
Yeah, and if it was a matter of, okay, we're going to deviate from the lore because it's a game and they didn't get into it that much, but we have a much better story to tell, I'd be all right, I'm willing to give you some grace on that. They did not. They had a much worse story to tell, and they were basically just hauling out the member berries, kind of like season 3 of Primal.
Yeah.
And it's really disappointing for anybody who's a Tartakovsky fan, because you've seen what he can do. Yeah, he's better than this, but this just comes across as lazy.
Yeah, I agree. And again, who knows the real truth about it? If it was studio execs being pressured into it,
Absent any evidence to the contrary, all I can do is take him at his word.
Yeah. Yep. So again, like, we're just being, okay, this was an actual gut decision that you felt like this was exactly what we needed to do, and that this would make sense
This was your fallback plan. You said it. Your original intention was to do anthology. You tried. You couldn't come up with any story ideas, and then you regretted killing off Spear, and you want to have Spear and Fang back. And so I'm gonna go back and do that. That should have lit every warning sign that you have that, I'm fucking up.
Yeah, it's like self-awareness, right? Like, you know what? This is not what I originally intended to do. Maybe I need to take a step back here. Or, I don't know if he bounces ideas off of other people, if he puts, entrusts other people.
Clearly does. There are multiple writers.
Yeah. So I would maybe just not put all the responsibility and accountability on Gendy here as much as I would other people that are involved, that help storyboard, help write, this season here. So yeah, it's just that's unfortunate, honestly. So again, who knows? Maybe the second half of the season could get a lot better. But I at this point I have a lot of reservations. So
I mean, it's digging one hell of a hole, and it's
right.
One of the, like Bex gave us a 4.5 because the animation was better. I recognize the animation is better. The problem is you're piling on debt. This is now the 3rd fucking episode of what the fuck. It is not improving. It's not getting better. We're gonna cover this emotional moment that means nothing because he is a hollow fucking zombie who just has 3 flashbacks that he can refer to, and reacts to everything. There's no meaning in that, right? And then again, I want to have moment. So suddenly, he has the understanding of death and burial and respect for the dead and all that stuff. Then he gets, fucking engineering degree after becoming a seamstress and making his own shit. It's just, pick the storyline, pick the path and the arc that you want him to go on, and stick to it.
Yeah.
This is just these episodes are random.
Yeah. And again, we watched the trailer for a little teaser for season 4. So again, we don't know if it's going to be a full flashback, if it's going to tie into something, it's going to cut out halfway and go back to Zombie Spear. But you know, I feel like if it's season 5 or sorry episode 5, and we're halfway through the season, and it's like, man, this is just not getting any better. Then this is going to be an hell of a season because I mean, I would like it for it to get better. I think all of us would, but that remains to be seen. And obviously we can only go week by week here, but
yeah, this is Alien Earth vibes.
Yeah, he thought of scenes before he thought of why they'd be happening. Exactly.
Oh yeah, we're justifying them. The hard work of writing. This is very much, again, it reminds me, the defenses remind me of it as well. Oh, look, it was action. Oh, it looks like Alien, whatever. And I was like, are you paying any attention to the story?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea what's going on with the characters? Does any of this make any sense? Oh my gosh, the alien, it killed things. It was so cool. And then, oh, look at other things.
Yeah.
Fuck right off.
That being said, what would you guys rate this episode?
I give it a 3.
I think retroactively, because I gave the first episode initially like a 5 within that was, but same. I think I did say that I was like, this is one that that could go up or down depending on what happens, because you're hoping this sets up something interesting. Retroactively, I would drop the first episode down to probably like a 4. And I would probably give this a 4 also. I think it's marginally better, but not enough to increase the score, because I would say this episode is considerably more frustrating than the first episode, even though it has a couple of higher highs. And again, it's like we're not progressing. It's like we're really not doing a ton. It's like, okay, yeah, he dressed himself and he actually got a spear at the end, and you gave him this little emotional journey with a grasshopper, which felt very manufactured in most of its spots. I'm like, okay, I still, bringing him back from the dead is one of those types of decisions. It's like, you're going to have to seriously justify this because he had a very meaningful death.
Yeah, you have a long road to hoe.
It's a hard road justifying something like that. It's like one of our biggest complaint with stuff like the MCU. What's like they don't have the balls to keep people dead.
Yep.
It's like stakes are gone with so many pieces of media, and it's like, okay, if you're going to bring back somebody who had this great, meaningful self-sacrifice, you better make it worthwhile. And we haven't even begun to come close to that.
Yeah. We got a 199 super chat here from our friend Blue Collar Loser. I was on last night talking about a Bronx Tale. It says, hope the panel joins Nick next Monday for the Respectables. It's a bit of an inside joke from last night as we were winding down on the stream. And instead of saying The Replacements, which is actually the movie we're talking about next Monday night, I, for some reason, said The Respectables, and had to justify how my brain slipped to that.
That football movie that does not understand the rules of football.
Yeah. But it is somehow one of the better football movies.
Yeah. Just in time for the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl, right, Gordon?
I mean, they probably will, but it's fine. We're there.
Who knows, honestly? Who knows? Gordon. Blue, this one's for this clip's for you, and I guess it's probably also for a good one too.
Bites every day. No, it's probably the titties. Now you're a mile. Oh my.
Yes. That's
finally
a
uploaded
movie.
it.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Orgasmo. Let's go. Yeah, I think in the way that like Gordon when he gave his episode 1 and he was like, that is dependent on what follows. This one is I give it a 3 because it's dragged down by the prior 2. Right? You've already established a pattern that is not improving, and every time you keep lingering in this very poor arc, and I can't even. It's a flat line. It's got as much arc as Spears' heartbeat right now. I'm just starting to gate now because I'm like, look, get out of this, do something. Either get back, to properly telling the story and characterizing, who I'm looking at, or I'm just going to keep. I'm going to have to start going negative at some point.
Yeah, I believe I also gave the first episode a 5 out of 10, and I honestly forgot what I gave last week. I know it was probably a 4 out of 10. I think I gave last week's episode, but I agree though. Like for the score of this episode is affected because of where the story is going, where it comes from the first 2 episodes, or not going, and I don't think you can really look at this episode by itself. It's not like it's just in their story. It's like this is an ongoing story. This is an ongoing journey for Zombie Spear here. What's the progress? Because we're getting way too much repetition that we as the audience understand what's happening here. You don't need to keep dragging this on, right? Like a Cool Guy Jay says, rather have it short and sweet than long and dragged out. Like this journey of Spear doesn't need to be dragged out. I feel like he could have added a lot in this season, and I don't think we'll get that, especially 3 episodes in. So, again, we'll see. Again, I know it's. I will give Gendy a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, because of what he did with the first 2 seasons. However, because this season is off to a very, very slow and trogged out 3 episodes in, I don't know. I feel like my liking
burning that goodwill.
I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm like that glass is starting to pour out the. I don't know what are you doing here, Gendy? Like, no. And then next thing you know, I have an empty glass of Primal here. So
we're gonna definitely need the Al Pacino clip with the "Stop wasting my motherfucking time." That's
I will pull that up if like halfway through this season and it has not gotten any better, because at that point it's like, look, we're an hour in or over an hour in of actually what would it be 20, what is episodes like 23 25 minutes long, right? So we've had quite a not a lot of time in actuality because these episodes are so short, but it's still a waste of time.
Well, it's an hour. I mean, if you're gonna, for a story to go an hour and to not have a whole lot of character development, like it's not particularly good. By the way, that's why Sinners isn't very good.
That is also very true. A bit overhyped. And I hope this season.
I've been watching. I've watched that a couple of times recently, so it's like that one's kind of fresh on the mind.
Yeah, no, I still have recollections of it.
I was time stamping certain parts, and I was like, "When's something gonna actually happen in this movie?" And it's like, "Wow, we're at an hour, and finally we're getting some vampire." Okay, cool. That took a while.
All right. I mean, you didn't like the vampires dancing in a circle, river dancing.
I thought. Well, yeah, it's for another day. It's
yeah,
for another
I
day.
know.
There are things about that movie I like, but
same.
And there's one scene in particular which I think is really, really like great. Like there's a scene in that movie that is fantastic, and I was like, this should have been the whole movie. Like this what's going on in this scene should have been what the entire movie was about, not all this, oh, we ain't free, y'all. We ain't free. Let's talk about oral sex. We ain't free. That's like the whole movie otherwise, is them just talking about not being free. It's like, it's so lame, but gosh, they have one scene that is just awesome. And I was like, gosh, that could have been the whole film and you would have had something really special, but nah.
Yeah, I don't need it.
It's true, Waylon. Sinners is a worse version of From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yep.
Like From Dusk Till Bedtime.
Yeah, and again, for the way Vex rated it, I would probably give it the same, but I would add in the animation and the sound design that's only keeping it from being watchable in the first place. You know, if I wasn't watching this, and again I was watching it or watching people talk about it online or watching reviews and going like, yep, guys, this episode, you know, is a dud. Here's why. Next episode, bit of a dud. Here's why. Right up until the point where like, oh, okay, maybe it actually starts to get better at this point. Who knows if you watch the other dud episodes or you just kind of cut straight to that episode that is good, or again, maybe you skip the whole season, or maybe you put yourself through that pain just to, you know, get to these potential good episodes or episode. But at that point too, it might not just be worth the 2 hours or a little over 2 hours.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that Walking Dead series that they made where it was focused on a single zombie and just kind of following the zombie, and it was focused on his experiences and all that? No, you don't. You know why? Because everybody else said that would have been a dumb fucking idea.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Oh, that show had a bunch of other problems too, but yeah.
Things happened.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. 100%, especially earlier on in the first few seasons. But
the stories may have sucked, but they were stories.
Yeah.
That's already put it ahead
arcs.
Of season 3.
Right.
LaMarp. It's better than LaMarp.
Yep, it is.
Well, we'll end the stream here. We'll see how season 3, episode 4 presents itself. I'm about to watch Tears of the Sun. Anyone watch that?
Yeah, a long time
Vex
ago.
actually did a live stream about that movie some months back. I don't think I've seen it. I don't think I've watched it. I know what it is. I just never.
Yeah, I think I've seen it once or twice, and it was when it first like hit HBO or something like that.
Yeah, I think I remember her doing that.
I was not interested in returning to it.
Yeah. Gord, what you got going on this week, man?
Well, I just put a video out this past Saturday, so that's up. Check that out. Take an hour out of your day. I mean, it's basically the same length of this first 3 episodes of LaMerp, but better. So to watch that. As far as I don't think I'm streaming anywhere else this week, so I'll be, trying to figure out what my next project is. That's what I'll be doing.
Nice.
And thawing out my vehicle.
True. Yeah. I know some of y'all got that problem right now. But yeah, go check out Papa Pumpkin's channel. Description has the link, and he makes good content. So check him out. Good one. What about you?
I think I'll be on Zaxxas tomorrow night. We have no idea what we're going to do there. I'm sure he has something cooked up for us. And then Thursday, I'll be on Roman and the Empires, where we will be discussing the Rankin and Bass. Boy, I just tried to make that Bankin and Rass. The Rankin and Bass, The Hobbit animated movie.
Yes.
The Roman has fond memories of that, and I have memories of it.
Mm-hmm. I do too. So I'll probably tune in for that one for a bit before I do a gaming stream. But yeah, I think tomorrow I'll be on Zax's stream as well. So we'll see what happens there. We'll be cover and talk about. And then next Monday for Massive Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be talking about The Replacements. Right before the Super Bowl comes out the following Sunday. So, we'll should be a fun one. I know I've had a few people ask about that, recommended and whatnot. But
inspired by the players' strike, the NFL players' strike in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Kojo actually recommended this one, good one, Fire and Ice, 1983.
I reviewed that on Gooch's channel about a year and a half ago, and we had a pretty good panel for that one.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm like, I haven't watched it in God knows how long, but
I think that's the one we actually had a couple of professional animators as part of the panel. And we discussed rotoscoping and some of the choices that are made.
Very nice. Yeah. I want to watch it again before I consider it, but I would be open. I was like, I should be open to it. I just need to. I don't remember most of it, so yeah, Swaylen, I think you were the one that recommended it, but so did you just run into all the stuff I recommended on Discord? I bookmarked a lot. I mean, so everything that everyone has recommended in my Discord, I've bookmarked. At least I was going through it and bookmarking things.
I think I've also recommended the replacements. DMs before.
Yeah, so there's a few things that got multiple. I got multiple like messages for. So, and there's some obviously that I was like, yeah, I don't know if we'll do this one.
Yeah.
Like Happy Gilmore, but
hell no.
So there are other movies to discuss, but yeah, I was like, which is why I appreciate the suggestions, because and there's a lot of movies to talk about, so and a lot of good ones. So it's like it kind of just helps me focus in, like anything Vex recommended. I do have things that she's recommended and bookmarked. I mean, she had asked about if I was ever going to do Sisu, which I am, but I believe that is the Monday that is MegaCon. So she's like, I probably won't be able to do that one, unfortunately. So I was like, well, if I ever do Sisu 2, which I still haven't seen yet, but I imagine
the good news is Sisu will be a pretty quick cover, because it like Rambo 2 is a bit of a cartoon, but it's an amusing one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sisu is a fun cartoon.
We'll be doing Man of Fire, so that'll be interesting. But again, we're not rating the movie by itself. So
the best Equalizer movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Spear was a man on fire.
He was.
He was. He sure was.
Then Mira had some fire in her loins.
Mm-hmm.
Put out that fire and grew some hair.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, listen, we're gonna raid into a box office brawler. He's talking about Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner here. A fun baseball movie, I suppose. I just want to say
about baseball. I thought it was about a man who made dildos. If you build it, they will come.
What's interesting is that this is the second time from last week to this week he's talked about a movie about cornfields.
Mm.
I don't know if
there's a kink. He might have a kink.
Yeah. Does he like corn? Does he eat corn the long way?
Could be.
Who knows? Ask him in his chat when we rate him. So, appreciate everyone.
On Cornhub all the time.
Kevin Costner's worst part about Field of Dreams.
He's the worst part of a lot of movies that he's in.
Waylon, please put that in the chat when we raid, just to see. I want to see what Brawler's reaction is. Much like his Signs reactions last week. But I just want to say shout out to everyone who was here tonight chatting. Anyway, everyone who watches this on the replay, if you made it this far, you rock.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah, as well. Again, hopefully, you didn't hate the review and you actually understand what we're talking about and can see it for what it's worth. Not just be like, these guys hate the show. Downvote, downvote, downvote.
If you do hate the review, find me on Twitter.
Yeah. His link is in the description below. So feel free to chat with us on X as well. And
I'll be Huckleberry.
We'll have all you have to do is just say when.
Any of you have the guts to play for blood?
I'm your Huckleberry. That's just my game.
All right, Lunger. You go to hell.
I'll put you out of your misery. Say when.
Just tempt Goodwin on X, y'all. Just tempt him. Waylon will not reply.
I think
only
Gendy,
on Discord.
I think Gendy, when he was asked about doing season 3, he said, "I'm your Dingleberry."
I'm Spears Dingleberry. You're gonna see a lot of them in this show. But all right, y'all. Stay primal. Stay
Stay la merp.
Yes.